Let's
We
figure
are
it out.
live.
And we're back.
Okay.
And we have
What
returned.
the hell happened there? Sorry about that for everyone that was watching. The few people that were. I think
yeah.
Ryan accidentally Ryan had to leave, and I think he exited the wrong way and ended the entire broadcast just as a final fuck you to the rest of us.
Ryan
Right.
left and took his ball with him.
Ryan did it just because we went against his wishes for putting LSU at 10 plus wins, at 10 wins or more. So
He really hates that. But I
Look.
did have right before we went out, I did have a question for Cam about Tennessee. How short is Joe Milton's leash with how well Nico Lamalava did in the preseason?
I think Joe has a very long leash.
You think so? You don't think Nico is knocking on that door?
Well, I think those are two separate questions. I think Nico is very good. He's earned the 5-star rankings. I think he's better than Arch as a high school quarterback. I think Arch had a better last name.
I agree.
And I share the same last name, so I can say that with
even though Lamalava is a killer name, or however you say it.
Hold on. Isn't it Lamelavella?
It's actually an I. It's an I to start his last name. It's not an L.
Oh goodness.
It's
is it I?
It's Iamaleava.
Iamaleava. That's so sick.
I'm from Kentucky. I'm never going to be able to pronounce
that. I think Nico is coming along. I think he's going to do really well. We're definitely not redshirting him, that's for sure. He will compete for the job. I still think Joe has a longer leash. Maybe. It's still a leash, but I think he's got a comfortable enough one because I think, like you were talking about earlier with Heupel being able to develop quarterbacks, I think Heupel has a lot of trust in him. I think the Orange Bowl did that. If he went out and just crapped a bet on the Orange Bowl, I think it's a very different question. But he played really well against a really, really good top-tier defense in Clemson. So, yeah, I like that 10-2 thing. Do I think we can pick off Alabama? Yeah. Georgia, I'm still not there on Georgia because they're just really good, man. It's just like, it's stupid how good they are. And Alabama's right there, too. I just think maybe we get more confidence from the Alabama game last year that we think we can go on the road. I think we're dumb enough to think we can go on the road and win in Alabama. And I don't think a lot of teams are that dumb. And I mean that in a positive way.
Yeah. Confidence.
Okay.
Confidence.
Yeah, now, absolutely.
Texas A&M.
Here's my first bowl eligible team. Okay. I have them right there at 6-6. Yeah, right there at 6-6. I think they have 6 games that they can win and 6 games that are going to get destroyed.
Do they beat Miami though?
Yes, they beat Miami. Miami is dog water. Miami is not good. They will be in the next 2 years when the recruiting classes come in. Same thing that happened to Oregon. They were not very good the first 2 years under Mario Cristobal, and then the third year in 2019 we went 12-2. So I think the same thing is gonna happen to Miami.
Fair enough.
I've got Texas A&M going. They're pretty much standard 8-4. They bring in Bobby Petrino. I think if he's allowed to, right? That's the big thing. If he's allowed to open up that offense, I think Texas A&M looks completely different than they have.
But Josh,
they could be 5-0 going to the home game versus Alabama.
So do you have them? Do you have them clearing the Mississippi schools or beating South Carolina? Because I just don't see.
I think they absolutely can. They have the talent to do it. They have the players.
They've had the players for the last 4 years.
I know, and now they just got where they were lacking an offensive coordinator.
That's true.
So, we're going to see what Petrino can do there. Just to remind you, Petrino is also the same guy who brought us Lamar Jackson. Now, that's not saying anything about his coaching. Lamar Jackson is an incredible athlete, but he can certainly wake up offenses and that's what they brought him in for. Hopefully, he's allowed to do that. And I think Alabama at Kyle Field, if they don't have their quarterback situation figured out, or if we find out that their quarterback situation isn't very good, I think they can beat Alabama.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Like I said, I think I could see him being potentially 5-0 going into the home game versus Alabama, and then they play at Tennessee the very next week. So, those 2 games obviously be very pivotal. Actually, they have a very tough, despite what Ryan's hate boner on South Carolina, I think that's a tough 3-game stretch. Hate boner. Bama, Tennessee, and South Carolina. Then they get Ole Miss and Mississippi State back-to-back, and then they close at LSU. I could see bowl eligible to 7-5 is where I think I would go on them.
Yeah, I think I'm with Josh. I think it all depends on Petrino and what he's allowed to do. As long as he doesn't have anybody on the back of his motorcycle, I think they could be dangerous this year. The biggest question too, I think, is are we going to have any trust for either of their 2 quarterbacks that we saw last year? That are one of them is going to win the starting job, right? Either King or Johnson. So I think the biggest thing is finding trust in them. If Petrino's is actually allowed to take over and isn't just there as window dressing, I think they could be a very, very scary team. And I think that could absolutely be a trap game for those that have Tennessee going 11-1 or 12-0, just speaking for us, that could absolutely be a trap game in Knoxville in the middle of the year. If A&M gets rolling that way. With that being said, though, I think Petrino and Fisher, I think Jimbo and Petrino could really buck heads. I think that could very much be a Lane and Saban kind of relationship. So 7-5, 8-4, maybe get a little bit better, a couple of games than last year. I think Petrino's worth 2 games, right? They were 5-7 last year. I think Petrino's worth 2 games.
That's fair. Okay. And finally, Vandy, they're not going to be in the new Vandy. I need to look at their schedule.
I think they're very easily in the same old Vandy. I mean, here's my thing. I have them at 3-9 on here. However, I could see them easily. I could see them 5-7. I could see them beating Wake in Florida. But
do you think they're going to lose to UNLV?
No, I have them beating UNLV
because they play Hawaii, Bama, A&M, Wake, and UNLV. Those are their.
I have them starting 3-1. I have them losing to Wake, starting 3-1, and then losing the rest of their games.
Well,
but I think they could beat Florida.
They could beat Missouri because we think they're better luck next year as well.
They could beat Missouri. I don't know, but I have them at 3-9. I think their ceiling is probably 5-7.
So better luck next year. I love that we only have one true bowl eligible team, and that's Texas A&M. That's just funny.
I'm just glad that there's more teams on the top of the list than there is at the bottom.
I will say though, with Vandy, it's favorable in the sense that it is at Wake Forest, but Wake Forest's biggest asset is gone. He went to a different team.
Yeah.
It's Kentucky at home, Missouri at home, at Florida, but it's the middle of the year. Is Florida going to be 4-2 with life or 1-5 and the fans are ready to burn Napier's house to the ground?
Yeah.
It's at Ole Miss. Like, what's Ole Miss going to be? Home against Auburn. There's some favorability there, but it's also still Vandy, and it's very hard for me to wrap my head around them being.
Well, they were 5-7, and
last year.
James Franklin got them to weren't they 8-4?
They won 10 games under Franklin, didn't they?
They won 10 games. Damn.
Okay, yes. That was a question. That was a question. That wasn't a statement.
Okay.
I don't. It was 9 or 10.
What year was that? What year was that?
It was 9 games. That's what it was.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah, let me look. James.
All I know is Oregon's gonna beat that ass in baseball, so I ain't even worried about it.
Are you up for a Tennessee-Oregon clash for the title?
Yeah. In football?
No, baseball.
Oh, baseball?
Yeah.
I am all for it. 100%. All for it.
So
I don't think Oregon has the pitching team there, but
yeah, he had him in back-to-back years. Vandy under James Franklin 2012 and 2013. They won 9 games both years.
That's what it was, and that got him Penn State, right?
It was the first finish.
If you can do that with Vandy,
consecutive years for the first time in school history. Yep.
If you can do that with Vandy, I feel like the Patriots should be calling.
To be fair, those were. I can't speak for the rest of the East, but that was Joker Phillips.
He had a record of 25 and 15, so he had an average record of 8 and 5 in those 3 years.
So the only reason why
2012 should have been right before we fired Derek Dooley to hire Butch Jones.
Oh no!
Yeah. Oh no!
Dooley.
That would have been. Yeah, that would have been Dooley to Jones, and then Pruitt, and then.
Oh God! You mentioned
hey, that's when we went downhill too.
Shorts, just making fun of Dooley. I love SEC shorts.
All right.
So good. So the only reason why Vandy's in the SEC is because of academics, right? That's the only reason why they keep them.
Baseball.
Just baseball and academics. That's it. That's it. Like the only reason why they exist.
Dude, anchor down in baseball, dude. That's don't worry about it. So I saw DraftKings had Vandy at they're over under at 3.5 wins this year.
Take the under.
Yeah, woof. Take the under. I could see 4 and 8. I could see 3 and 9. This Vanderbilt team lost some key players to the transfer portal. Had a little bit of turnover. I don't see them. I mean, they missed a bowl last year, and I think that was their chance for the next couple of years to get to a bowl game.
Yeah, I'm in that 4-win, 5-win area with you, Josh.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I think that wraps it up. If we're going to
that wraps up. Well. Sorry. No, let's conference championship game. I have Tennessee LSU. I have Tennessee winning that game, going 13-0, going to college football playoff as the number 1 team.
Bless you, sir.
So wait. So it'd be Tennessee and Georgia, Alabama and LSU.
So
it's
West, East or West. So the best team from the East and the best team from the West.
Yes, I know, but I'm trying to remember which teams are from which division. So
it's literally
Georgia, Kentucky, South Carolina.
So it's Tennessee
Missouri,
or Georgia
Vanderbilt,
for the East,
and
Alabama or LSU for the West.
Yep.
Give me until further notice. I'm going to take Georgia. Give me Georgia. I'm going to take a repeat, even though I'm not entirely sure about the QB. Give me Georgia, Bama. Georgia repeats. I think until further notice, I will take them as the repeat national champs, honestly. But I think Tennessee could be up there. I think, it's just I'm not entirely sure what to think.
I just have such a hard time with Georgia because, like, I get it that they reloaded a lot of guys last season. I understand that. But they also reloaded their quarterback, who just went on to win a national championship the year before. They're not reloading their quarterback anymore. So I think that makes a huge difference for me with Georgia. That's why I have them losing 2 games.
So for my SEC championship game, I've got Georgia and LSU, and I've got Georgia beating LSU. Going into the playoffs, I think the SEC may get 2 teams in the playoffs again this year. I just see Georgia doing it again. 12-0, 3rd national title in 3 years. Kirby Smart's, I think, the best coach in college football right now.
Yeah, mine looks very identical to Josh's. I think LSU can clip Alabama. I still have Georgia ahead of us. Listen, I'd be stoked if we ran the, like, don't get me wrong, but I have Georgia and LSU.
Run it back like it's 1998.
There it is. I think Georgia beats LSU. I think they could be very similar to like Tennessee is on the outside at 11-1. Do they have a chance to get in? Listen, I will take, like, our compensation used to be like a Butch Jones Champions of Life routine. So now I'm okay with our compensation being the Orange Bowl if we don't make the playoffs. Like, I'm all for, like, oh darn, we're gonna go to the Orange Bowl, I guess. Like, give me that.
You get a free vacation to what is that? Is that game in Florida?
Miami,
to Miami? You get a free vacation to Miami if that happens. There you go.
Yeah. I am so okay with that. I will take that to the bank for sure. But for us, I mean, it relies on Milton. If Milton goes, if he levels up, I think we're incredibly scary. I think if he doesn't, we're 9-3. So. But I like Georgia
9-3.
Yeah.
Okay. So we apologize to anyone who was watching the stream earlier for that ending. We blame Ryan because he claims it's his show, so anything that goes wrong is his fucking fault.
Right.
Oh my God. Look at this.
2 conference games.
Yep. Pretty much.
FCS games. I wish.
Bama, Georgia, LSU, Tennessee play.
See, people talk crap about that, but everybody secretly wants that. Like,
I think
like, if Oregon could play like Portland State 4 times and then like the bottom half of the Pac-12, I'd be so stoked.
So I think I was watching Late Kick the other night, and I think Josh Pate had a really good take on this. So
Pac-12 Pate,
you get three games. And I think he said Syracuse, Virginia, and Wake Forest. Or you could play Furman, Georgia, and I guess Samford. Yeah.
2 guaranteed wins.
Now you can 2 guaranteed games and 1 guaranteed loss, or you get 3 games where you can win them all,
or you can lose them all somehow,
or you could lose. I think lots of people would be like, I'll take my chances with the 3 that I could possibly win and be 3-0.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it really goes both ways because you could beat Georgia.
Well, I think his thing was like, do you want 3 coin flips or do you want 2 guarantees and a not so much? And most of the country would take the 2 guaranteed wins and
that's what the SEC is doing, and that's why. Yeah. That's why all these teams, that's why, like you said, all these teams, at least now, up until next year, are dodging all these Power 5 teams because they don't want to have to run because obviously all the SEC wants is multiple teams in the playoff, and then starting next year they'll be able to do that. So they're willing to make the teams have to play a Power 5 team because now you can make the playoff with 12 spots with 1 or 2 losses potentially, right?
Right.
So if you can have those top 4 teams of Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, and LSU all make it at 1, undefeated or 1 or 2 losses, including a Power 5 loss, then they'll take it. But
so now that we're through all the conferences, and because Ryan's not here and him saying that's his show kind of peeved me off a little bit.
And
let's all go over our playoff teams, because now that we're fully through, I mean, obviously we don't got to take too much time, but let's give me your top 4.
Some ideas.
I just want your top 4. Yeah.
Okay.
Connor, go ahead. Start it off. Give us your top 4. Don't think about it too much because I know you're gonna. You always
Unfortunately, I think too much.
You overthink these, but you don't overthink the pick'ems, and you always win. I hate it.
That's true. I just wing it on the pick'ems. Give me Georgia.
Georgia 1.
Either Ohio State or Michigan. One of those 2 from the Big Ten. I'll take Michigan again.
Okay, Michigan number 2.
Give me Florida State and USC.
There you go.
Okay.
So I got Tennessee number 1, Michigan number 2, Florida State number 3, and Oregon number 4.
Okay. Georgia, Michigan, Florida State, and Oregon. Bo Nix for Heisman.
Nix for Heisman, baby.
I'll take Georgia, Florida State, Ohio State, and Utah.
Ooh.
Utah. Ooh, okay.
Us picking Florida State now means that they're gonna crash and burn to like 7-5 now.
Yes,
they're gonna crash and burn. That's just
we jinxed them.
We jinxed them, which is good for us.
The ACC is weak, and Florida State smells blood in the water. Let's go.
I mean, I hope I hope the Clemson Florida State game is gonna be top dollar like it was back in like 2015-16 with Watson and all that. So.
All right, take us out, Connor. Take us out.
I will give one very dark horse. I think if Texas beats Alabama, Texas runs the table and goes to the college football playoff.
I agree, Cam.
That's fair enough. Texas will be back then.
Texas would be back.
That pains me to say that as the real.
Okay. Now, a question real quick. Will we be redoing these again at the very beginning of the season?
I want to do it in this way, too.
Yeah, we'll do it this way.
We'll do it this way. This is better visual. That way we can see it because us just listing off the wins and stuff.
Yeah,
not having a visual was terrible. So we'll redo that. We'll retouch all the Power 5 teams come the first, within the first 5 weeks leading up to the start of the season, and actually the beginning of week 0. Ta-da! So we'll be doing that, and hopefully we can have you back for that, Cam. I can screenshot this and we can match it, see if it's going to change at all. It'll be interesting though. Maybe we don't have to do SEC since we already done it. Maybe we should just do the other ones since we haven't done that for those. But we'll see. But for now, this has been Week 0 Podcast. I have been your host, Connor, Dogs, 3P Doherty, for Cam, for Josh, for Ryan, who fucked us over and screwed us over with that, with him leaving, and for Lucas. This has been Week 0 Podcast. Please make sure you like and subscribe. We are trying to build this up, and we're gonna have a lot of fun. Then we have a lot of plans coming out this season, so we're gonna have some fun this year.
We have a new editor as well, so we're gonna have new videos coming out for the Week 0.
We're gonna start doing more. Yeah, we're gonna start doing more videos and stuff. And I keep forgetting to do VT Hokey Focus. I've literally done like 2 of those, but I've been very busy because I just moved. But we will see you guys next time on the Week 0 Podcast.